Hey guys, MasakoX here, and hey, new angle. We're just going to be playing things a little differently, something different from the norm, much like how this box set has turned out to be. I'm talking about, of course, the 30th anniversary Blu-ray box set that Funimation is producing to, sure enough and surprisingly, celebrate the 30th anniversary of Dragonball Z when it launched back in 1989. And you would think that, oh, this is a great thing to do, this is fantastic, but there's a problem with that. The material that they used for actually displaying and showcasing and promoting this box set is not the best that they could use, and it's gotten them in a little bit of hot water. And the state of play, as a result, means that the supposed 6,000 sets that they have released to the public have not fully been fulfilled and realized. You think it would sell like hotcakes, but no, they've only just reached the 3,000 target of reservations, and that's not something that should happen with the likes of Dragonball, and the problem is to do with the Blu-ray, not just for the fact that it's $350. $350 for what you actually get is not that bad. And I bet you just want me to say, oh, it's Funimation's fault entirely, let's just wrap this video up and we all go home for tea, or dinner, where I am right now. But no, it's not Funimation's fault, sort of. As I touched upon in my Margin News Bulletin yesterday, Justin Savikas over at Anime News Network, the Answer Man, actually gave some really good points to show that it's not Funimation's fault that the material that they had was not ideal. It was just simply because Toei Animation didn't give them the right kind of scans or any kind of copies, so Funimation had to use the copies that they've had for nearly 2 decades, so yeah, it's like gonna be inferior to what you can have directly from the source. It's 1 or 2 generations down from what it was from the original, and as you record over tape and film, it gets grainier and grainier and the quality decreases more and more. And if you are watching this, Toei, you really should have helped out Funimation in this, because this is the 30th anniversary in your product too. You should have worked together, like you guys did on Twitter, to even announce this box set and produce something that was the definitive edition that could have been just kept around until the 40th anniversary, or even the 50th anniversary of Dragon Ball Z. But at the same time, Funimation, you're not out of the woods yet. You should have planned this a lot sooner and maybe requested from Toei the actual original materials, or for them to do a rescan or something. But realistically, in my opinion, Toei and Funimation should have worked together to produce a fantastic box set with remasters of the quality similar to the DBZ remasters that were sold in Japan last year. And if they're streaming in Netflix in Japan, and if you've had a chance to see it, then woo, it's really good. And in a way, Toei missed a trick here. I think Toei could have saved a lot of money by having Funimation produce the entire box set on their own. And hear me out here. Picture this. Funimation makes this Blu-ray box set for the Western audiences in English, and then all Toei has to do to repurpose it for the Japanese market is just to take out the English audio tracks, take out the English extras, put in maybe some Japanese extras if they want to, and then just keep the Japanese audio and maybe change the packaging a little bit to reflect that it's in Japan, and then boom. They've managed to save a lot of money. Funimation's done the majority of the grunt work to actually compose and then actually put the Blu-ray together. Yeah, Toei would have actually saved a lot of money and made a lot more of that money too in Japan, because I think the import rates for that box set would be very high, and I don't think that now, after what's happened, people in Japan are going to be importing that English box set. And maybe something that would have been even better is to include the optional broadcast audio that has been circulating around the internet for some episodes that people have tried to offer to the likes of Toei and Funimation, but it's all been stonewalled. They just don't want to know, or at least Toei doesn't want to know about all this broadcast audio. This could make the difference, and take a look at Anime AJ's video on the subject about the difference in this audio, and it's just like night and day. It's seriously good. And if you could have some episodes at least that would have broadcast quality, and you had a little icon to say, this episode contains the original broadcast audio at its highest quality, I think you'd sell even more. Okay, so I've been basically adding some critiques of my own, so okay, instead of just doing that and then calling it a day, let's try and add something new to the table. What would I do if I was given the task of producing this 30th anniversary box set? Okay, here's what I'd do. Here's how I'd fix this. First off, I would plan out for this at least 18 months ahead of time, maybe even 2 years, because the 30th anniversary of Dragon Ball Z is a fixed point in time. It's April 2019. You have a lot of time to prepare. You could start this in 2017, you'd have plenty of time to be able to figure out what you want to do. The Blu-ray quality is still there and in 1080p. It's proven technology, and I know this because I did a digital screen arts degree at college and university, so this is pretty much my field. I take a look at these 16mm copies that I've had for 2 decades and think, that doesn't seem right, that's not ideal. You try your best to try and fix it, maybe do some demo episodes to see what it could look like on Blu-ray, and then So you'd approach Toei Animation and request to either work together on this to produce something glorious, or at the very least, ask for a better copy, maybe? I think Funimation should take this gamble because Dragon Ball Z is their biggest cash cow. I think they would get a very, very big return. Like I said before, collaborate on this, that means Toei can make a quick buck and Funimation has access to better materials. Or, at the very least, maybe ask for the remastered copies that the Latino market got for Ecuador and Nicaragua. I mean, there does exist. I mean, take a look at the article now down below. 2016, they got a better version, and just have a look on Google and you can find the Latino in 1080p, and yeah, it may be in 16:9, but still looks pretty good. I think you could fabricate a 4:3 version of that. It shows the potential of what Dragon Ball Z could look like in HD. And like I said before, the remastering of DBZ, the movies that Toei released not that long ago in Japan, it proved that the market is there, people will buy it, and the quality is glorious. But the one thing I wouldn't do is what they did do for those DBZ movie remasters, is change the material at all, because some of Trunks' expressions were removed. I don't know why, because this was meant to be, as they said, a definitive version. It's not the definitive version. It's not the original one as intended. If you're gonna have these problems and you maybe want to address people or warn people, just put a warning at the beginning. Boom, sorted. It's content of its time. So long as the movies or the episodes have been stored properly, what's the problem? Or maybe there is a problem. Why hasn't Toei given Funimation a better copy of Dragon Ball Z in the 20 years that they've been working together? Is there a problem? Are some of the episodes damaged in any way? Or maybe Toei plans to make their own 30th anniversary bundle for the Japanese market alone and leave Funimation out in the cold. Or maybe Funimation just simply not asked for it. I mean, okay, this is all pure conjecture here. I just want to stress that. This is just me using my televisual and post-production brain, me being an editor and being in the world of television for about 10 years, having this experience, and just what I would do or what I think would be the situation. So just stressing that out there. Next up, I would leave the resulting footage alone. No grain removal, no noise reduction, just leave it as is, as we found it from the scans, and just tell people that this may not be the greatest material out there in terms of clarity, but it's the most genuine material that we got. If you want Dragon Ball Z as it was intended for people watching this from between 1989 and 1995, this is what you're going to get. It's just a resolution bump from the original film stock and nothing more. And if people are still concerned, just throw a disclaimer in there explaining the whole thing at the beginning of each disc. That's all you need to do. It's the most authentic version and yeah, sorted. Also, DBZ movie remasters in Japan, keep all those corrections and errors in there. We need to keep it as it was. Mistakes in all the definitive version, remember? Other than that, that's pretty much it. The rest of the content that Funimation provides is pretty good for the, bundle. But I think I'd just change one more thing, actually. I would have 2 versions of this bundle. You see, $350 is not a bad price for this, but I think you could get a wider market by having 2 versions of this celebrationary Blu-ray package. You may be limiting your sales because some people may pay $350 for it, but some people may not. They may just want the Blu-rays. They may just not want the figure or just not be bothered with the figure or the art book. So instead, have 2 options for people. And yes, all the extra work that's entailed to it may mean that you have to bump up the main big bundle price to $400 or $399, but maybe if you took out the figure, took out the art book, and you just had the certificate of authenticity and the Blu-rays, the full bundle, you could sell it for $249. Have the $399 bundle limited to 5,000 copies instead of 6,000, so you're already reducing the production costs, and people will buy that because it's even rarer. And if people don't really want to stump up the cash for all of that, $400, that's quite a lot, but $249 for all of Dragon Ball Z? That's less than $1 per episode. And this is in HD Blu-ray quality, 4:3, originally intended. Ooh, that's a really spicy meatball. Actually, vote up in the poll up top for $249. Would you actually buy the entirety of Dragon Ball Z on Blu-ray, remastered, all that kind of shebang, as I've explained? I'd be curious to know. And by having the 249 set maybe less restricted at like 10,000, 15,000 copies, or maybe fully available, you're not really limiting your potential sales. You'd actually have on your plate, readily available, the definitive version of Dragon Ball Z in Blu-ray. You'd never have to make another set again. You just have to think of the long-term strategy here. All you need to do is just, have the second edition and the third edition for slightly cheaper. And that first edition luster, people selling that first edition of the 30th anniversary bundle for extra and getting it out there, that first edition luster is pretty high. It has a lot of staying power and you don't really have to do any work to do it. You just have to make more copies. So yeah, these are my thoughts about how I would fix the 30th anniversary box set of Dragon Ball Z. Let me know down in the comments if you agree with this or how you would change this. And yeah, that's just all I've got to say. So until next one, I hope you're doing well, guys, and I hope that you stick around. Be sure to like and subscribe and all of that, and I shall see you in the next video. Catch you later.